All right, let's talk about order of operations. Okay, and this might be what you remember as PEMDAS. Okay, so the P is parentheses, and I'm going to expand that into any grouping. Okay, so there are other types of groupings other than parentheses, but that's the most common. E would be exponents, and I'm going to extend that to be almost any type of function. So we've talked about absolute value, exponents, roots. Those are all in the same category as exponents. M and D go together as multiplication and division, and they are most easily done from left to right. Okay, we know that we can regroup those, but you've got to be really careful. The easiest way to do them is to go from left to right to avoid mistakes. And then addition, subtraction, same thing. You can rearrange them, but it's safest just to go from left to right because you don't want to make the mistake of separating a number from its sign. Okay, so let's do a few and just talk about maybe some of the common mistakes here. So let's say that we have like 3 times 2 minus 4, like this. Okay, so you've got to make sure you can't do this 2 minus 4 here. Okay, you've got to do the 3 times 2 first. So 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, or even this one's pretty easy because you're still just going left to right. Let's say we have like 8 minus, let's make it 8 minus 6 divided by 2. Okay, so sometimes it's tempting to do the 8 minus 6 because you just want to go from left to right, but you got to be careful here because you got to do the division first. So it's actually 8 minus 3. Okay, 6 divided by 2 is 3, which is 5. If you had done 8 minus 6 first, that would be 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's the wrong answer. Okay, also be careful with exponents. So let's say we have 4 squared minus 3 squared. Okay, remember in the exponent video we talked about you have to be careful that exponents only go with what they're next to. So this is 4 squared. That one's pretty straightforward. This one, the minus is not part of the exponent. So when we square this, we're only squaring the 3. So we're going to do 4 squared is 16 minus 3 squared is 9. 16 minus 9 is 7. Okay, let's see another one. Let's say we have 3 minus 4 plus negative 2 cubed plus 5. Okay, so this one's a little bit more complicated. Okay, so we're going to start from the top. Do we have any parentheses? We don't have the parentheses in the sense they mean. The parentheses right here are just telling us, they're just including that negative in the exponent. So we don't have any simplifying inside of parentheses. So then we move in, or you can consider this a grouping and simplify inside that. It can fall under either parentheses or function. Okay, so moving on to the next one, we're going to look for functions. Well, in order to do this one, we're going to have to simplify inside. So you can either consider this step 1 or step 2. So 3 minus negative 4 is going to be negative 1. There's nothing to simplify inside here, so that's still negative 2. And now we can evaluate those functions. So absolute value of negative 1 is going to come out positive 1. Negative 2 cubed is going to be negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is going to be negative 8. And then we still have the positive 5 over here. So our last step is to combine all of this. So 1 and negative 8 would be negative 7. Negative 7, you can write that out if you want. Negative 7 and positive 5 is going to come out to be negative 2. Okay, so just make sure that you go through the order here. You may have to go through it a few times. If there's stuff inside the parentheses or exponents that you need to do, you may need to go through it a few times. And then your last step should be the addition, subtraction to collect all the terms. I guess sometimes you could have multiplication, division as the last one. So like if you had like 2 times 3 plus 4 squared, like that. Uh-oh, low battery. Okay, so if we were doing this one, we would simplify inside the parentheses first. Then we would do the exponent. Remember, the exponent only goes with what it's next to. So we'd have 2 times 49. Okay, and then for this one, our last step is multiplication because the addition subtraction already got taken care of in an earlier step just by the order of that we had to do it. And so then our last step would be 2 times 49, which is 98. Okay, so that's the basic idea there.